Hey, Jim.
Hey, come, sit. I just had that meeting with Susan and it went really, really well.
That's great, Jim. So, what went really, really well?
Well, in thinking about how I was going to convey my expectations to Susan, I prepared a graph showing our P&L for the last 12 quarters broken down by market segment, and then placed this in front of Susan along with a copy of the competitive analysis we did last year. I then asked her if she saw any discrepancies. She seemed nervous and kept looking at me to see if I was going to say any more, but I remained quiet, confident that if I gave her enough time, she would pinpoint the discrepancies, and she did, identifying the two market segments where we aren't doing as well as we probably could. I then told her that I'd like her to come up with a plan for closing the gap between how we're doing and how we should be doing in those markets.
What was her response?
Well, she was clearly excited when she spotted the discrepancies, but started squirming around in her seats when I asked her for the plan. I suspect she remembers what happened to Jose and doesn't want the same thing to happen to her.
It's great that you noticed that, Jim.
I then handed her a hard copy of what I consider to be an exemplary marketing plan and suggested she use this as a template for the kinds of information her plan should cover.
How did she respond?
You mean after her mouth dropped open? She started paging through the plan. I could see that she had questions, but she was hesitant to ask.
And then?
Well, Coach, you would have been really proud of me. I looked at her and said, you know, we have several in-house resources you should be aware of. And then I went through each section of the plan and told her where she could get more information or help.
How did she react?
She took copious notes, asking a question or two every now and then. By the time we finished reviewing the sample market plan, the conversation was flowing and she seemed at ease asking questions.
Well done, Jim. It sounds like you were successful in spelling out your expectations regarding the deliverable, as well as what resources they should be consulting.
Oh, I did better than that. Whenever she asked a perceptive question, I said something like, "Great question." And the one time she had an idea I didn't like, I just smiled and asked her how she'd go about validating whether this would work.
Wow, Jim, that is really great. If I were Susan, I'd feel very supported and safe in answering you. So tell me, so I can learn something here, how did you keep from rolling your eyes and going into all the reasons why her idea wouldn't work?
Well, that's a good question. I think it was having such a good time playing mentor that it would have been out of character to go down that other road.
So, you're feeling pretty good about yourself, are you?
I am, at least with respect to Susan. Now I just need to figure out how I'm going to get back on track with Jose.
Well, that's where my support comes in. Let's see how we can build on what you've accomplished with Susan and take it to the next level with Jose.